Hey everyone, welcome from the depths. I'm Menti, and this is episode 68 of the Battleship Brawls Season 4 tournament. This episode we have the Otsarva by Carnival, making its way through the ranks trying to get those 5 wins and become a champion. But it is at 2 losses, so if it loses this round, it will be defeated, and that will be the end of its run through the tournament. And the vessel trying to do that is my entry for the tournament, the Jani Jipya. Roughly translates to New Leaf, because as you can tell, I turned over a new leaf and tried to do something a little bit more conventional and not so crazy with like tactical hats and cylindrical hulls and all that stuff that I've done before. Though I did add this little groove down the side, which I think is pretty cool. But, you know, that's my opinion. Of course I'm going to think it's cool on my own ship. And we've got these faux secondaries on the side as well, some anti-aircraft gun mounts. Up on the superstructure, the paint job is awful because I'm just bad at paint. And then probably the big feature are these 4 quad-barreled turrets. Rather large, not Richelieu style, but inspired turrets. I guess you could say I'm pretty proud of those. In testing, they were quite powerful and deadly, but we will see how they hold up in actual combat. Because you know, testing in the field are 2 very, very, very different things. But yeah, that's basically it. The only other thing I guess I should point out is there's nothing on the bottom except a mostly wooden hull. Like, I do have metal around the turrets, so I'm not living totally dangerously, but yes, the hull is the underside of the hull is mostly wood. And then with that, we'll get this battle underway. I think the Jani Jipya will start out with a slight advantage, with it having the ability to bring all 16 guns to bear for its initial volley, while the Otsarva can only do, what is that, 6? But it does fire. It did fire first, so that, but all the shells dunked into the water because of the Jani Jipya's turn. And that raking fire, that is real dangerous to weapons. Yep, look at that. Turret popped off already by the Jani Jipya. And we got another volley coming in. This won't be quite so raking fire, but that is going right for that other turret. Ooh, nothing major happening though. Otsarva taking a pretty hefty pounding though. Down to 93.6% already. Well, the Jani Jipya is at 97. Jani takes some hits to its hull, but the side of its hull armor is pretty strong. You see shells bouncing off there. Lots of damage being done. Or lots of damage being mitigated, I mean. Ooh, but that turret just took a shot to the back of the head. And these rear turrets are not able to get in the game. And one of the front turrets is disabled as well. The Jani Jipya losing weapons really fast all of a sudden. Because now it's getting its T crossed. Taking some hits to the hull, but the hull armor on the Jani Jipya is quite strong, in my opinion. So it doesn't really mind getting shot in the hull that much. But I guess the turret armor is a little lacking, considering, you know, 2.5 of the 4 guns are disabled. Jani Jipya launching some shells into the bow of the Otsarva there. Ooh, those shells really close to hitting that forward gun right in the face. Didn't quite do it. Pounding into the hull there near that one turret. Oh, that rear gun gets a firing angle. Launches a shell into the deck of the Otsarva, it looked like. This seems like a dangerous position for the Otsarva to be in, because now it's getting its T crossed. Oh, and that turret just took a hit to the top. Looks like it survived though, just some barrel damage. Armor held. Wow, that shell falls short of the Jani Jipya, so as does that one. Those hit the hull, but again, Jani Jipya doesn't really mind taking shots to the hull. very close hit point wise right now. 90% for the Jani Jipya, 87 for the Otsarva. Oh, those are going really close to that turret. Oh man, the Otsarva is just having a hard time aiming right now. A lot of its shells are missing. Those shells landed, but did not manage to get through the armor protecting the front of that turret. Jani Jipya got a nice angle in there, landing some shots, but only on the deck. Not really a big deal there. That distance is getting further and further out. It's actually probably good for the Jani Jipya. It has, like I said, its hull armor, even its deck armor, is pretty dang strong. And I feel like the guns will be harder to hit if the shells are arcing, because they can get hit rather easily by shells that skip off the surface of the water. See, that shell just bounced right off the Jani Jipya, which is why I have it trying to sail at the angle it's sailing at. I want to cause shell deflections. I want to make your shells just ineffective. Oh, but those shells landing straight into the face of that turret. But it only lost barrels. Okay, so apparently the frontal armor of my turrets is pretty good, but not the side or rear. Or it could just be the oh no, that was the rear shot that took that turret out. Another couple shells coming in. That actually landed on top of the turret. Armor held. Gun is still active. Oh, and the Jani Jipya has an almost 6% lead. It is slowly gaining ground against the Otsarva, which just seems to be slow. Yeah, it's going real slow now. It must have lost some engine. The Jani Jipya is just sitting in a friggin' wonderful spot for it. This front gun can't fire at it, and these rear guns have a horrible angle. Oh, that turret just took some big damage too. I think maybe one of those guns is still... Oh, that went right in through the neck there. Oh, that was a hell of a shot. I don't think that gun's active at all anymore. Well, prove me wrong, why don't you? One barrel is, anyway. Jani Jipya is suddenly up by 11%. She's a tough little brawler. Not easy to damage this ship, except the turrets, I guess. But even like this turret has taken like 4 or 5 hits, and it's still active. But then this one died really easily somehow. I think. Oh, I bet you. I can't tell because of the ship's moving. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but maybe a shell got underneath there and then blew up from underneath because the underside armor is very weak. So maybe that's how that one got knocked out. And this one just got shot in the back, which it has basically one layer of metal on the rear, so... No, Otsarva is going even slower. Seems like that could just be drag. Big hole ripped out in the stern there. Does not look like she has any weaponry left except this frontal gun, which the Jani Jipya is out of the firing arc of. Oh, is that superstructure still connected? It's connected. No, it is not. I think it's going to fall off any moment, and that's a big chunk of HP. That whole superstructure does not seem connected anymore. Nope, there's nothing holding that up. The game will eventually realize it's supposed to fall, but, you know. Jani Jipya just hounding the Otsarva, staying right back there, keeping that angle. Exactly what I wanted it to do. relentless. Shot right at the tip of the bow, like really. Don't you think there were better targets? And there, that superstructure finally fell off. It took the game forever to realize it was supposed to disconnect. Then again, it might have been waiting to see if it gets repaired or something. I'm not entirely sure how that works, actually. Otsarva even slower. Oh, that rear gun seems to have been pulled out of its firing arc. But it has most of the ship to shoot at there. Where the heck is it aiming that it can't fire at it? There it is. That was probably the target spot. A little bit of a collision here. Yep. And there's the slowdown from it. Oh, and that frontal gun comes to life. Blasts the Jani Jipya. Now they're stuck in this sort of V shape. This is actually pretty dangerous for both ships. More so for the Jani Jipya, I think. But with a minute and a half left, I don't think the Otsarva can make up the hit point difference. Now that I look at the clock. But of course, the collision damage making the game slow down is just going to drag out that last minute and a half. I don't think this front gun can actually get on target this close. Or maybe it can. I'm wrong. It's like, okay, Otsarva, I need you to just go fully dead in the water instead of slowly grinding your way into the Jani Jipya. Oh jeez, that was huge lag there. I know the Jani Jipya is not going to stop doing what it's doing. Like it's not supposed to end up in this situation, but it did, and I don't have any programming in the quote-unquote AI to fix this because I didn't think it would happen. But you know, no plan survives contact with the enemy. This shell got deep into the Otsarva before detonating that time. Well, the Jani Jipya seems to be slowly grinding away the bow of the Otsarva there. It might eventually break free. Seems like it might be doing so just now, actually. That frontal turret of the Otsarva just unloading into the face of this gun. It's like, here, take this. Boom. Done. Though I think that turret was already disabled. This is the one that was still active. Yep, you chose the wrong turret there, Otsarva, but you did manage to pop the cap off, so that is a win of sorts. Oh, there we go. There we go. That should help break this up. I think the Otsarva has gone, yeah, no, it's still got some propulsion, but basically zero. So Jani Jipya gets a little acceleration boost from the explosion to its ass. Oh no, I used the curse word, demonetized. You can have your $2. Down to the last few seconds, and that is the end of round one, with the Jani Jipya having a pretty commanding lead here, reducing the Otsarva to just a barely floating wreck. Just took a little while because of the collision damage slowdown. We'll go ahead and get set up here, get into position, and we will get round two underway. See how this one goes. See if the Otsarva can do a little better with knocking out the Jani Jipya's guns, even though it did really well early on. Knocked out several of the guns in pretty quick succession. But then once the Jani Jipya got behind it, it was struggling. The Otsarva struggled that whole time. Jani Jipya taking some minor damage hits, nothing major there. Let's see how the Otsarva is doing. Oh, taking quite the volley there. Big holes ripped in the side of the hull. More shots coming in. Oh, that turret taking hits. And it has been disabled. Meanwhile, the Jani Jipya has lost the angle on its rear gun again. That other rear gun will, yep, there it goes, soon to follow. The bow of the Jani Jipya attracting a lot of fire. But still at 93% health, the Otsarva at 91 basically. That T-crossing broadside there. This is a less than optimal situation for the Jani Jipya. Just like it was last time. This is basically the same way the first match went, except the Jani Jipya still has a bunch of guns left. I was worried that shell was about to take something out, but I guess it didn't have enough oomph left to penetrate. Jani Jipya at 91%, Otsarva down to 82%. Oh, it lost superstructure and a turret. Oops, Jani Jipya just straight up missing an entire volley there. Nice shooting, guys. Nice shooting. That gun took a hit, but it looks like the armor actually held a bit. I'm more than a little surprised by that, because, like I said, the rear armor is 1 meter of metal. So taking a hit to the rear and the gun still being alive is unexpected. The ship is not supposed to end up in these chase situations like this. This is not how I envisioned it going. And yep, that turret cap just got popped off completely by that strike from the rear. That gun is dead and gone. Looks like the Otsarva lost all of its superstructure though. Both pieces of it falling off completely. It's down to 78%, while Jani Jipya's at 88%. And you're not gonna get a sinking or AI kill on the Jani Jipya, let me tell you that. I mean, you could theoretically get an AI kill, but good luck. It has like 8 AIs on it. Ooh, that front turret taking another shot. That's a gun disabled, but it still has most of them up. As you can see, each turret has its own set of AI that gives it its own targets. Oh, looks like the Otsarva has gone dead in the water. It's lost, well, not dead in the water, but it's lost most of its propulsion. It's barely able to crawl along, and it looks like we're about to have another ram. Maybe not. The Otsarva might get out of the way. As the Jani Jipya keeps getting pushed back by the force of the explosions, ramming into it, and now it's turning the other way. Jani Jipya down to 86%, Otsarva down to 71%. Jani's hull proving quite difficult to do any significant damage to. Like, yeah, sure, the bow, there's not much up there. There's some wood and some stone. It's pretty empty. The sides, it's like 3 meters of metal, like 5 layers of stone behind that. It's quite durable. Oh, and here we go with the ram again. This is not how it's supposed to happen. Oh, but with the Otsarva getting pushed back by those explosions. Oh, yep, the Jani's going to be able to swing wide enough to not cause a ram. Until it, shot the Otsarva and the explosions pushed it forward, and now they're ramming again. Maybe these shots will push it back. Nope. Those shots decided to do nothing. Because that's how physics works. I just don't want them to get stuck together and the collision damage to slow the video to a halt again. Yeah, like exactly like this. This is exactly what I didn't want to have happen. But the Jani Jipya will get around, the corner here. They're not going to be stuck like this forever, thankfully. That would just be painful. Not that this is pleasant. Oh, Jani Jipya getting some armor stripped off by this ram here, but not a whole lot. Like the outer layer of metal got ripped away. Meanwhile, the Otsarva's losing its bow. Maybe these shots will push it back. Let them break away. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want. Oh, and then why are these things getting pushed around by the explosions like they're made of styrofoam? That amuses me. Oh, it looks like the Jani Jipya landed some low, hits low in the Otsarva. Does the Otsarva even have any weapons left? Oh man, I don't think it does. Oh, it has this gun right here. Yeah, there it goes. That shell fires away. It's got a pretty good angle on the hull. Hit right where the turret is, and didn't even get through the metal. Well, it got through the metal, but it didn't get past the metal. The stone on the inside held. So that shell, basically ineffective, did almost no damage. You know, Otsarva doesn't exactly have weak armor either. I mean, it's got some heavy armor beams in there, you know, deep in there, adding some AC, but then it's got mostly stone, wood on the outside. And that was not enough to halt the Jani Jipya's firepower, and it is 2 damaged and destroyed in this match, which means round 2 is over. Jani Jipya has won both of them. And that gives the Otsarva its 3rd loss, which means it has been eliminated from the tournament. But, because of that, make sure you go ahead and check down in the description for the Hall of Beauty votes for both of these vessels. If you think they deserve recognition for their aesthetics and how they fight, or, you know, you just want to, you just think they look cool, whatever the case may be, go ahead and vote up on their the Hall of Beauty votes down in the description. You know, the whole thing I'm talking about, but now I'm rambling. You know, if you don't like them, if you think they don't deserve recognition, then vote them down. You know, simple process. Alright, other than that, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the battlefield.